Hello, and welcome back to Town 2 City. Put on your dancing shoes, get your finest clothes on, get that tie straightened up, and get that lipstick applied because we're going into town. The bourgeoisie is here and things are about to get fancy, fancy, fancy. So as you can see in our last episode, we got a little bit distracted with all of the new animals and farming things that they brought in with the new update. And we put in some nice sheep pens and we put in some nice cow pastures, and the people in our town started adopting some pets like this cute little kitty cat here. But now it is time to continue on with the upgrading of our town with the bourgeoisie class. Now, I find it kind of funny that in modern times, bourgeoisie seems to imply some kind of aristocracy almost, like a really wealthy and rich clientele. And that's kind of how they're portrayed in this game. But if I'm not mistaken, weren't the bourgeoisie mostly just considered the upper class, like merchants and people who were no longer laborers, but had, achieved a little bit of financial stability, but weren't necessarily part of the aristocracy or the ruling class? I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken, but in this game, the bourgeoisie have the fancy houses, and we're gonna build ourselves a fancy neighborhood to put them in. I like this little spit of land right here. I think putting in a lakeside residential complex is going to be absolutely gorgeous, and I have some ideas on ways to make this look unique. And we're gonna be putting in these fancy bourgeoisie residencies. They look like this. As you can see, they're really quite nice, and I'm curious to see what they look like when they've been upgraded to like 3-story, 4-story, whatever you can get. I'm not sure which ones I want to use. I'll probably do a little bit of mixing and matching because these are some really neat models. And in addition to that, we also have some fancy new things that we're going to put in. We have a dressmaker, which is a very cool looking structure. We have a jeweler, which is also incredible. Oh, look at that design on the side. I love that, which is incredible. Look at all the colors and how it's just going to pop. We've got a social club, very cool with the glass roof and whatnot going on there. We have a candle maker, which is definitely going to get used. The luthier, who makes violins and cellos and all kinds of stringed instruments. The apothecary, where you can get your drugs, because everybody needs a drug dealer. Post office, super huge, cool looking building. Library, that thing is massive. We're going to have to do an individual build just for that. And also, I forgot to put in a city hall. We don't actually have a city hall. We unlocked this thing and I completely forgot about it. So we are going to be very busy this episode, just doing some designing of neighborhoods. Nothing fancy, just good old city planning. Let's get started. So as you can see, we're going for a much more grid-like and regimented appearance, and I wanted to do this because I want to challenge myself and try something new. I think in the other parts of town we've established the whole windy road thing pretty well, but in my mind, the story that I'm telling here is that we've got the old town, the part of the city that was built around the goat paths and the ancient, ways that people would walk and whatnot. But as the city has progressed and things have gotten more wealthy and powerful, they've decided that they want to put in a brand new district. And as you find in a lot of places around the world, when you get these brand new districts getting put in nearby ancient older cities, the windy goat path type construction gives way to a much more grid-like, almost, I hate to say it, European influence, maybe Roman, I don't know what you want to call it, but that's what I'm going for here, and I want to see if I can make it work. So we've got enough for 3 families in each of these, so that's 9 families. That'll get us a pretty good start on population to get workers for all these different buildings, but now I want to start putting in some of the businesses. So I'm centering the whole thing around the library and the city hall, just because I really like these 2 big structures and I think they're going to make a neat courtyard area in the middle here. So let's go ahead and put in a few more commercial buildings and maybe some more housing, and we're going to get this waterfront decorated here. I got some really nice ideas for what I'm going to do with that space, so let's get busy. So apparently in my last video, I was calling this structure the wrong thing. I went back and watched the video and didn't even realize that I was using the wrong word for them. But this is not a patissier, it's a patisserie. Patissier is the guy that makes the pastries. The patisserie is where they sell the pastries. And I'm an idiot and I used the wrong word and I apologize and I thank you for pointing that out to me and correcting my horrible French. So I'm slowly getting my design put in. I haven't done any decorating yet, just getting things laid out, and I'm liking the way it's looking so far, but I am noticing that all of these buildings here require artisans to work, and a lot of them require regular old townspeople as well. So I think I'm gonna have to replace a few of these bourgeoisie building rows with some artisan housing, just so I can actually get all the workers that I need for everything. Yeah, I think that's gonna be an okay look. We went ahead and put in a little bit of artisan housing. I am gonna have to put in regular housing, but I can probably add to these neighborhoods over here or do that down here. So let's just keep going with this district and see what we come up with. Well, I am realizing that this neighborhood is going to require a ton more population. So I'm going to think about that a bit. But for now, I would just want to get on to decorating. So let's get this place looking really nice and then we can worry about the population later and start throwing some more housing in other places. All right, well, I thought I would come enjoy this courtyard that I just made using the new free walk mode. This is kind of cool. You can see things from the first person perspective of what we've done with this courtyard so far. I've got the game paused right now. That's just because I don't want the sunlight to disappear too rapidly on me. And we've got right here the city hall, which we decorated up in a yellow style with all kinds of really cool little decorations and flowers and these little ball yards. I used the wall fountains because everybody in the comments is always telling me, did you know you could put fountains on the walls? Yes, I did, and I put 2 of them in. Aren't you proud of me? I like using the flags to give a little bit of depth to these alleyways, and we're gonna have to put some more decorations down on the side here. I've got these new pictures and paintings of cows and sheep and stuff that I got from a mayor's quest in the last episode, and I really like the way this is kind of coming together, just giving some depth. Out here in the middle, I tried to go for like a little cafe, a little coffee shop where people could come sit in the courtyard. They come up here. I know this is a newspaper stand, but it looks a little bit like a small coffee shop to me, and so we went ahead and did that, and people can come in here and sit under the umbrellas and enjoy all of that. And then across the courtyard, we have got the cool library. in all of its goodness with some flags and some candles and lighting, clocks, the statues. I'm really happy with how this has all turned out. Now I know in the first person walking view it's kind of crowded, but I think that's just a limitation of this camera view because when you look at it from above, it doesn't look too terribly bad. So you can kind of see what I'm getting at here. The people seem to have no trouble walking around and pathfinding through here. It's just a limitation of the first person camera mode. I really like the way this is going. I like the density of it. It's kind of a neat thing. It's new for me to try to build in this style, and I'm gonna have to see what I can do about these little tight alleyways and whatnot. But next, let's move on to decorating some of the houses. Now, if I had been an intelligent person, which I think I've established that I'm not really that intelligent, I would have built one house, decorated it, and then just copied and pasted the decorations over, because why do I do this to myself? These don't necessarily need to be super unique. So what I'm probably gonna do is decorate a house, delete the other ones, and then copy and paste it over. I have had people move in, but that's not a big deal. We can always get more people from the train station. So let me try that out and see if this can get decorated a little bit faster than I normally do, just because I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours decorating every single apartment. Copy and paste, it's in the game, let's use it. You know what? That was so much easier than decorating everything manually. Why didn't I start doing this a long time ago? I mean, I can go through and change a few things here and there, but that just saved me so much time. So yeah, top tip, use the cut and paste if you get a chance. So what do you think of the design of my first apartment complex that I've got going here in this new district? I think I kind of like it. The fence is separating it off from the street. It actually looks kind of similar to a neighborhood that I used to live in. I like it a lot. And again, more side fountains. I thought you guys would like that. And I keep forgetting that you can put these clocks on the side of structures. This is so much fun. There's a lot of cool decorating we're going to do. I think for the other side here, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing and just copy the decorations that I have here and make it look like one nice consolidated universal area. So let's get on with that. I think this looks pretty nifty. I would like to have a walk down this little alley and have these houses on both sides with the beautiful flowers and trees and bushes and fences. I'm liking this design, and I think it's something that I'm going to work with for the other structures as well. So we got more houses to decorate. Let's get on it. One thing I'd like to point out that I found is that I really like hiding the seams of the houses, because on this particular style of artisan house, I don't like the way it connects, but I was able to use these vines to kind of cover that up and just give a little more texture to the front. Oh, and did you know that you can stick hay bales to the walls? And that's what they look like. They have wide ones, they have narrow ones, depending on what size of hay bale you choose. So I think that's pretty neat. All right, let's go get some more houses done. And we have another couple rows done. What do you think? I didn't really put these houses far enough back to do a lot in the front, but I was kind of, not really spoiled for room, but I think I like what we've got so far. I'm having to get really creative with what we do to the big blank sides of these buildings though. So I got a little fountain with some candles and some ivy on this one. I decided to use signs to create kind of a band. And then these things are the autumn arches. If you put them on a wall, they make wreaths and you can get different colors. Got some more of those paintings and some flags up here. And the big flat sides of these buildings, yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. Maybe I'll make a little mini video on what I can do to decorate these. I wish there was a way that we could put murals on the sides, kind of like these, and I hope that they introduce that eventually. Possibly even allow us to do our own pixel art. Like, that would be really, really cool. Imagine if you were allowed to draw something like this, or if we could have a online, gallery of user-made pixel art that would fit and that you could download and use. That would be amazing. I would love to see that. I got to do something in the back of the building here just because it's obvious, and then I got to fix the road because I cut into it a little bit. I'll probably do what I did over here because I don't really want to spend a lot of time and frame rates putting a bunch of decorations in the back of the house because I'm already getting bad enough FPS as it is. I'll probably just put some trees back there just to kind of hide it and break it up. It's not because I'm lazy. It's literally because my computer, the fans right now are sounding a bit like a typhoon in this game because it's just not quite optimized right. So let me go ahead and do the backs of these and we'll see how it goes. All right, so I have to admit, I'm pretty proud of this design, actually. It's nothing incredibly complicated, but it's kind of creative, I think. I combined the rose, the lilac, and the beehive farming stuff to create this little wildflower design around the fountain. And then any space that I couldn't seem to get filled in with the crops, I just took the individual flowers and set them on random and kind of filled in some of the holes here. And then, of course, we have to have monuments to our great and lovely pets, which you put on the sides. But it's kind of a neat idea combining those together to get some color that pops. And the cool part about these is that the farming crops seem to be a little bit easier on the FPS than trying to put in the individual entities that are the individual flowers or the clusters. So I like the back of City Hall. I think it's a pretty cool look and I'm very happy with it. So let's continue on with decorations. So again, we're just adjusting the footprint of these buildings, trying to make them not look quite so squared off and rectangular, tossing in some little walking paths with some walled in gardens here. And I built the world's simplest and easiest hedge maze over here that people can come in here and look at the fountain and things like that. But it's a nice little filler and gives a little bit of rounded natural edges to the whole build. I also got this nice fence line put in around this sidewalk that people can like jog or run by the pond or whatever they want to do, and I think it's going to look really cool at night. We're making progress. This is easily one of the biggest builds I've ever done, and it's taking a long time. We are at hour 3.5 now. Good times, but I'm loving it. Let's keep going. So what do you guys think of this garden design? I mixed and matched the honey, the lavender, and the roses along with a few of the plantable flowers just to kind of give a different perspective, and I broke it up with some little footpaths that people can use to walk in and out. I'm not sure what I think. It's a little bit difficult to use because these crops only go in certain directions, and so you kind of have to work with the grain, as it were. But I like it as a new effect, and I think it looks pretty neat, to be perfectly honest. I think I'm going to keep it. Over here, we put in a little fountain plaza. I don't think I've used any of these big fountains yet, so I just went ahead and did one of those with lots of greenery going around it, just a place for people to sit and chill and relax. And did you know you can put the swans in the fountain? How cool is that? Maybe I should put some ducks into. I don't know. But I also like using these little stone cauldron things as kind of like trash cans, because this game is missing trash receptacles, and so that's kind of the idea there, is that it's a place for people to put their rubbish. I've got the post office all decorated up here. I put in a statue of, I don't know, Fido the dog with some trees and fencing around it. And then I kind of tried to create a rock garden inside using the stepping stones, mixing different sizes and things up. I kind of like that look. It's just, you know, as if you had a whole bunch of rocks there to keep the grass and the weeds back. And then the front of the post office is nothing special. I just went ahead and decorated up with the banners that I've been using all around this area, with some lights, with some awnings, signs, topiaries, as well as a lot of ivy around the back, just to give some texture to the walls and to fill things in. We're making good progress. Let's keep it up. We got more to do. Well, you guys know me. I couldn't resist forever. I finally had to do a flower shop, and what better shop to do with flowers than the perfume shop, because everything smells so nice. We got the bushes going all the way around. We got the flowers going all the way up. The colors match. We even got some sunflowers, and I didn't have to do much decorating on this side because it's already got this really nice mural. And I hope in the future we're able to do more things like this in the sides of buildings and be able to do our own pixel art. That would be pretty darn amazing. I had this little wedge of space here, so I put a statue in, used one of these little arches as a backdrop, put some pillars up, and filled in the area with stone blocks, and I think that looks pretty nice. And the bushes give a nice avenue way feel. We've also got the apothecary put in. I decided to go because it was an apothecary. I figured they'd have all kinds of weird stuff around it, but it would still look kind of nice. So I put some rocks in and then did mushrooms all around because, I don't know, an apothecary probably has mushrooms. Why not? You know, it's a drug shop. And in the back, I just did a little garden with all of the medicinal herbs in it that the guy would be using to create all of his stuff. And that just kind of helps with the footprint. And I really like these wheelbarrow assets when you put them on the wall. It just adds a nice little touch. I'm really liking it. And again, bushes just kind of complete the border. And then here I decided to make a little garden. Just went ahead and did a row of rainbow flowers in the back. And then I used these little bushes that had been trimmed up to look like animals in the front and just put them out as a nice display piece for people who are walking past. Again, looks pretty cool. I might come back later and put some lights and things in, but for now I'm okay with that. Let's keep going. We got more to do. right, so we got some more of our businesses decorated. We got the dressmaker here, which was a very formal building, which I found a little bit difficult to decorate because I kind of already liked the texture and the colors it already had. There wasn't much I needed to do to it. So I put a little front yard on it, put some bushes with trees for height and texture and depth, just to give different tiers with some rocks, just so everything's not quite so flat, but the things have a pleasing appeal to the eye. And I went ahead and put some candles in the front just to light it up at night because this place is going to look really cool at dark. And then next door we have, I think this is, yeah, the jewelry shop with this beautiful bitmap image on the side, mosaic. I love that. I'm going to say it again, game, we need to be able to do those ourselves. I decided a simplistic white design to not impede with the beautiful greens and purples that it already has, and just a few little bushes out front just to kind of set it off from the street because it already has its own decorations on the side and I love it. And over here we've got what I'm going to call the dessert shop because I'm tired of not being able to pronounce it correctly. And I went ahead and put some signs in the front just to make this building look a little bit different than the one I built last time. And then on top, we have like this little romantic rooftop, you know, getaway place where maybe you can reserve a nice dinner or a nice meal, whatever that may be. And then we have another park dedicated to our wonderful copper statues of little pets here. And this is kind of fun. I want to look and see what this looks like after dark, but I went ahead and put just a row of singular flowers around it, followed by a row of lanterns. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like when the sun goes down. And then I put a row of bushes, and it all leads up and draws the eye centrally to that statue. And then I put a hedge around it with some little archways to get in and out, and I think it's just like a nice little addition to the pond. And in fact, let's just see what this thing looks like with a little time lapse after dark. All right, so this is what that area looks like after dark. I may have overdone it a little bit with the lanterns, but you know what? I think it's kind of a cool look. If I zoom out, you can definitely tell where that statue is. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know. I do like this area over here. I use these open gazebos to create like just a little overlook the lake park area with some geese and some ducks where people can come and sit on the benches and throw breadcrumbs. It's kind of a neat use of that. I wish they tiled a little bit better, but maybe I just need to experiment a little bit more. But we've still got more decorating to do. We're definitely getting there. We got just a few more pieces to put in. We got to get some people moved in, and then we're going to be ready to go. This is starting to look really cool. I'm very, very happy. All right, so I finally got everybody employed. I got all the shops sorted out. Nobody's demanding anything. Everybody is happy. So let me take you on one final tour of this new district that we put in. So here we have the city hall and the library square that we put in with a little newspaper stand that I'm basically calling a coffee shop. I really like the way that turned out. People have a nice way to sit and enjoy a little cappuccino or a latte while they enjoy the library, or if they need to visit the government buildings. And on either side, I tried some new techniques for building garden spaces. Here I decided, like I said, to mix the lavender, the roses, and the honey farm, along with just a few of the already existing assets to create this little winding, beautiful garden pathway over here on the side. And if you go around to the other side of the library, I decided to use one of the large fountains where I created this nice little fountain plaza for people to enjoy, and I discovered that you can put geese with their little waggly tails in the middle of the fountain, and how cool is that? Just to the side of the fountain, you'll see we have a couple of new structures that we've put in. This over here, I believe, is the perfume shop, and I decided to make it florally and smell nice. And if you go down this alleyway, we have our first high-rise residential apartment complex system of artisan and bourgeoisie housing, and they're very, very nice, very, very decorated, very, very ritzy, and probably very, very expensive if you want to rent there. I love how these turned out, and I had a lot of fun trying to figure out new ways to decorate the sides of these buildings, because these big tall buildings have these huge flat areas, and they're quite challenging if you want to keep it from being too repetitive. So I decided to just check out everything I could slap on a wall and try to do some new designs, and I'm pretty happy with what I came up with. Around the back of the city hall, we've got another fountain plaza where I again use the farming crop flowers to mix and match to make a beautiful area, and I put in some of the new really cool statues for the pets. Over here we have another one of our apartment block complexes for bourgeoisie and artisan housing, and I like the front yard concept. I really like using the little fences to kind of separate things off and give people a way to walk up and down. And when you stack these up, these actually do tile pretty well with each other, and they look really neat when they're all side by side. So the row housing thing is really working out well. And I try to get creative again with the way that I decorated the sides of the buildings, because big flat areas can be a little bit repetitive. We've got the new apothecary down here with his mushroom patch that I put in and his herb garden in the back. And if you follow the path all the way down, you'll see where there's a little sitting area where people can go feed the ducks. I discovered that these big rocks can actually be placed in the water, and I kind of liked the look, and I figured since there was a cliff here, I might as well put the rocks on all the way around it and mix and match those in with some lily pads and some duck assets and some lights, and it just kind of adds to the whole thing. And as the nighttime comes, we're going to see that I put in lots of lights with lighted fencing and everything just to make this into a romantic walking area. Man, all of these assets are really hammering my FPS, but I'm doing my best. Over here, we got the dress maker, which is a really unique building, and I love the way it was already decorated. There just wasn't much I had to do to it, so I didn't do a lot. Next to it's the jewelry shop, or the jewelers, which I also went with a little bit more of a minimalist design, because some of these new buildings that they introduced have really, really neat textures to them. And then over here, we got another dessert shop with a beautiful little romantic seating area on the roof. So if you wanted to, you could watch the sunset while you enjoyed a nice coffee and a cake, or even a full meal, whatever you want. Around back, we've got more statues with our dogs. We've got this rounded garden area that I put in, which is also very, very cool. And if we wait just a second for the sun to go down, you'll see that I put a ring of lanterns all around the base of this statue, and hopefully it will glow very, very brightly and very, very excitedly here. And there we go. It's lit up like a Christmas tree, which I guess is nice because it's December. Is it a bit much? Maybe, but you know what? I don't care. I like it. All in all, I am so extremely happy with this build, and it took a long time. I have spent hours doing all this decorating, listening to podcasts, just enjoying things, and that's what I really love about Town to City, is just how incredibly relaxing and how incredibly chill this game can be, where you just build and decorate and design to your heart's content. So I did forget to show you guys the post office down here, which is kind of a neat structure in and of itself, and boy, does it take a lot of people to work in that place. But yeah, here we are. Our new district has been put in. I think it's a very fancy, very ritzy, very nice and very special area where all the bourgeoisie people can enjoy themselves, the artisans can live and ply their crafts, and I just gotta say, the way this city is all coming together and really filling in, it's starting to look like we're almost done, which is great because we're gonna be upgrading the city in the next episode and doing even more building. But that is all I'm gonna have time for today. I've been at this for a long time and I need a break. So until next time, I'll catch y'all later.